Did you know that sports can become a full-fledged career? And did you know that India has got one of the most magnificent university where you can pursue sports as a career? Or do you remember your good old college days when you were a student? I'm going to kick up some nostalgia today for you. Stay right there. Do not go away. Cheers. Open Talk with Vikram in our special book review edition. Those who are watching me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified. I'm here again with my favorite stack of books and a hot mug of coffee. What's your favorite pastime? I read a lot of books and I write a few books also. I have written 4 books till now, which have all become Amazon International #1 bestsellers. Today, I'm going to bring to you a new book from a new author. Now, this is a show where I not only bring to you books of renowned authors, but also books from first-time authors, or new authors, and independent authors who have written a good craft which is worth showing to you. So here it is today, Cakes of Nostalgia by Vijay Bisht Pahadi. Vijay Bisht is the name of the author, and Pahadi is what his friends call him because he belongs to the hills. Now, this book is published by Wisdom Press. It is about 323 pages and 444 pages. It is available on Amazon in the form of ebook as well as paperback. Let me tell you a bit of the story behind this book. You know, this author, he is a sports coach at present. He's a professor of physical education in a sports college. And he's an avid footballer. So he had this urge to play football since his childhood, but he had very poor health when he was a small boy. And he was at the verge of passing away without proper treatment. But fortunately, he found good medical help in time, which not only saved his life, but also helped him to regain his health. Now, that did not dampen his spirit for pursuing sports as a career. So he applied to this university in Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, and he got a call from there. And as he spent his time in that university pursuing his career, he gathered so many memories. And one day, after many years, when they got together, some friends got together, they were discussing their good old college days. And they were reminiscing their memories from those days. And somebody just mentioned that why not somebody should write about it. And this is how he got passionate about writing. Now, he is not a literary person. He's not a professor of English. He's a professor of physical education. So, and English doesn't come to him naturally. So when he approached me for developing his book, editing his book, I was a bit skeptical because God knows what kind of manuscript I'm going to get. But when I read the manuscript, I was awestruck. I had to ask him that, how did you manage this kind of language, this kind of vocabulary? You are not into English. And he told me a story which is so painful. He not only wrote his script, he went back, Googled for better words, searched for words, replaced his phrases, and enriched his text. Okay, he's been talking to me off and on that he's doing this, he's doing that, and he took several months to bring it together before he could finally put it across to me for editing. I was so impressed with his passion for writing this out that I really could not help but to assist him. So here is this book today, and I'm going to just walk you through this book. It is a very interesting novel. I can call it a novel, though it is almost biographical. And this is volume one, which covers only the first year of college. And he intends to write for all the years, one volume each. Imagine what kind of a treasure of a collection this will be. It will become a legacy for all the students of his batch. So, Back to Life is the first chapter, where he talks about his illness and how he came across it and how he got his health regained with some proper medical treatment. Knocking at the LNCPE. LNCPE is the university where he studied. So knocking, yeah, you have to knock the college doors to get in. It's an admission process. It's not an easy walkover process. And when I really read about the admission process, it is at times appearing to be more difficult than the academic admission into any of the academic courses. Exploration of the planet LNCPE. In this chapter, he explains the vastness, the humongous campus that is there. It has got several fields for football, basketball, volleyball, track and field events. It has got swimming pools, it has got auditorium. He describes the entire thing, which appears as if it is a huge fort of a college. Yeah, Gwalior fort is also very famous, but this is another marvel of a college that he has described in his works. Then struggle for an admission. Now, why struggle? The entry conditions are quite stringent. Okay, you need to have certain amount of physical fitness, certain skill at what you are wanting to get into. It's not that you want to play football and you just get into your favorite sport as football without knowing how to kick the ball. No, they will test you first. So all that process is very stringent. It has been described. And then there is a medical test. There are some funny incidents described for the medical test also. It's worth reading. Hilarious, totally hilarious. I mean, I had to put it down and laugh out loud for a while before I could come back to reading further. Then there is a result day. Yeah, the anxiety every student has, whether my name is there on the scrolls, whether I have got selected in the college. And when you got selected, it was just celebrations. So then there is first day. Yeah, of course, when you check into college with your backpack, you are just a small lad. Okay, people direct you go there and do this, do that, fill up this form, all that process. First night, first fight. Now this is something, a twist in the story. Now, these guys, they got accommodated into hostels, and in the very first night there was a big fight. Apparently some seniors came for having fun with them, and there was a big fight that day. And these first year students, they established their grit on that very first moment in front of their seniors. They were not to be covered down. This was a special batch. Okay, any other batch would bow down before the seniors. Okay, let them have fun, let them do what they want. But these guys resisted, and that ended up into a big fight. Interesting. The way it has been described is very interesting. The first dawn. Yeah, the dawn word has a very good significance here, because it opens your eyes to the reality. Okay, whatever has happened so far is just, was a process which has ended. But here on, it's a daily grind. You have to be on the field at a particular wee hours of the morning, and you have to be fit every day of your life. Okay, then unwelcoming welcome. Okay, there are some incidents that, among students, there is some interesting anecdotes to read about. Then me and my 99. It's a batch of 100 students. He's one, rest are 99. So it describes specific characters, who is what kind, what type. There are stereotypes, there are absolutely run-of-the-mill types, there are totally outstanding types. So he describes them, even the teachers, the students. It's a beautiful description from the eyes of an innocent village boy, what he sees around, what he observes about people. All that is explained in this. The soccer tribe. Yeah, he chose football as his specialization subject. So in that, of course, there were other, at least two teams or three teams of students which used to practice together. So they became a subgroup of the remaining 100 people. So they became a subgroup as a soccer tribe, and how each one played, and the level of coaches that are there in these colleges are absolutely fantastic. They are all renowned players, renowned athletes who are who and who of the sports world. It is not just, you get any teacher from anywhere. They're absolutely perfectly fantastic teachers around, which these people remember till now, till date, that they were coached by such great teachers. The maiden handshake and football derby. So there was a formal match between two teams, and they were lined up before they could open the match on the field. And suddenly a group of girls arrived, and like a celebrity comes forward and shakes hands with the team. One girl came and shook hands with a particular team. Now this guy in the other team, they were like watching with jealousy, of course. And then the best of the girls came across and shook hands with this team, and they were so charged up that they could play their best football of the life. So there are some teenage feelings, some exciting moments which are brought across in these kind of anecdotes in this book. So now we come to the chapter called Afsana Likh Rahi, a sonnet of love. See, after the students have got together, settled down in their routine, one day there is a event in their auditorium. So everybody is gathered in the auditorium, and our hero of the story, he discovers so many qualities, so many hidden talents in other students which he did not know about. Somebody is good in music, somebody is good in singing, somebody is good in stage organization, and so many things. He was just very, very mesmerized looking at this kind of environment which he has never seen before. And the power, the aura of the teachers and the principals and the deans, it was all filled in the auditorium. So it was a beautiful night of student interaction, the social interaction in the college as it happens. And this is the chapter about the sonnet of love. So what he does is, through this interaction, he becomes friends with so many people who are his time. And he calls himself the bunch of losers, because he considers that he is the least talented amongst others who have got a lot more talents than him. So some amount of humility, and of course, great bonding, great friendship. This is what happens in a social fest. There is a main plot, which is, of course, the life at that college from the eyes of this author. Now there are so many subplots within, different incidents, different anecdotes, good, bad, painful, and sizzlers, the diving test, the swimming test, and what all happened at the pool. I mean, normally we would think that, okay, it's a swimming test, but this was an interesting anecdote. Golu is a chapter about a pulpy guy. I don't know what he was doing at the sports college, but his level of fitness was not equal to the others. And these people came across this guy, and suddenly he had a health condition. And that brings a lot of trauma, excitement, anxiety into the story. So there are different moods changing with each story in this. And there is a mention of Hindi-English conflict. Now this Hindi-English conflict is not only his problem alone, but it's a problem with many students across that university, even amongst the teachers. So there was a beautiful anecdote explained in this, wherein it was, a Hindi-English conflict with the teacher itself. So this is a lovely anecdote. Kapil, Sachin, and first shake. Three things. One is Kapil Dev. He's the star icon of the sports world. And even I revere and adore him as my sports icon. And in one of my books, I have mentioned at length about his achievements in life. Now, this chapter associates the first shave with Kapil. Like those days, Kapil was a brand ambassador of a particular shaving cream, and they used to show that this tough guy has a tough beard, and this is the appropriate shaving cream for it. And how these boys with their shoestring budget, they want to manage very tiny aspirations in their lives in college. That has been described, and how they got that first shave and the first cut. And also, there was a visit by Sachin Tendulkar. He's a god of cricket now, but those days when he visited, he was a youngster, upcoming youngster, and he was quite famous. So to see him in their college, in that practice net, in front of them, and playing a few balls, it was so exciting and memorable for them for a lifetime. This has been appropriately described in this chapter. Then there is a chapter called First Punishment. No, it is not that. It is sports, so everything goes easy. The rules are very stringent. The discipline is very strict. If you break that discipline, they take you to task. It is not like you go and you are suspended or this. No, they give you a very enduring physical punishment. So that has been described, how he and his group, they face that kind of punishment. Then there is a chapter on Lodi, Mela, and the war cry. So Lodi is a big festival in North India, and that was celebrated in the college. And he was not totally culturally aware, so whatever he observed, it was a fantasy for him. That bonfire, the dance, the music, the songs, and how they sneak out from there and go outside into a camp where these theater dancers kind of people. The Mela is happening, the seasonal melas of villages. So they want to check it out. They want to sneak out of their university on the sly, and they visit that place, and it's a whole account of that. And then the war cry, because again there are groups and factions challenging each other. So yeah, it's all very colorful, at the same time very exciting and thrilling also. The Valentine's Day. Yeah, every college will have their own memorable moments from the Valentine's Day, and this was no exception. So there was a macho boy out of this bunch of boys, and who went around and wrote a love letter to somebody. Of course, there will be reactions and response to what he has written. It is interesting to read, and from here on, this story of this boy and that girl, it takes a different dimension altogether throughout the rest of the novel. Holy hangover. Some boys, they played dirty on Holi. A pit was dug and all sort of things was put into it, and then people were tossed into it. Yeah, all that rustic fun, that it has been captured brilliantly in this. Then Langot, wrestling, and Kabaddi. There was although he was into football, but there was a wrestling test also, Kabaddi sport also. So all that different kinds of experiences are put into it. And finally, there is an annual excursion to Panchmadi. So Rollicks and Frolics at Panchmadi. Now that itself is a huge adventure. There is a marathon run there. There are campings. There are leadership opportunities for people to express their leadership. Night guards. It's total fun when you read it. It becomes like a story within itself. So with this, he ends his first year of college in this book. Now here's my take. You see, this kind of book is rare that I have come across. Normally, one would, even if you write about your college days, one would write about, in a summarized way. And this book is particularly, such a a big book it is, and it is just for the first year of the college. And with so many incidents, it is hard to remember, first of all, after so many years, but to put them across in a sequence with the main storyline. There are so many interesting subplots. There is, there are the clashes, there are romance, there's bromance. When boys they stand up for each other, so all kinds of emotions are dealt with in this book. This book is totally packed with different emotions, and the language used in this book is beautiful. He has really worked hard with using interesting phrases and beautiful description, very colorful and vivid description of every incident. And the story runs across various seasons, festivals, occasions, various moods, the highs and the lows, everything. So it's a very exciting, very beautifully written, and a wonderful book which I want to present to you. Get this on from Amazon and have a good time reading it. I wish wide acceptance of this book among the audience, and good luck to the author for writing his further sequels to this book. I hope you like this review. I would like to hear from you how you like this review. Please post in your comments in the main comment box below. And if you really like this video, please share it with your friends so that they can also enjoy this kind of a book when they read it. And those who are watching me for the first time, of course, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified. Thank you for your patient listening. Namaste.